Hello, and welcome to this video presentation. My name is Alan Bozaire, and I'm a teacher here at Sapporo University. In this video presentation, we're going to talk about how to write a strong opinion paragraph. And more specifically, I'm going to show you how you can organize your paragraphs using the labeling system. So let's jump in right away. So first, we're going to talk about the format of the paragraph. And you can see on your screen, there's a question. Is the format of a paragraph important? And in English, it's very important. So the answer is yes. Now, let's take a look and see what an opinion paragraph actually looks like. Okay, now that we know what a paragraph looks like, let's take a look at some of the common ways to prepare for an opinion paragraph. Now, I already said that organization was very important when you write in English, especially an opinion paragraph. And you can see on your screen that there are some pre-writing activities or brainstorming activities that you could do. And again, these are very common, very popular techniques. You can see the first one here is to make a detailed outline or a list. The second one is just to write down any ideas that come to your mind. And then the third one here is to make an idea map or a web. Now, these activities or brainstorming activities can be done individually, but they're often done in the classroom in pairs or in small groups. So let's take a look. Let me just click this. Now, here's a typical detailed outline structure. So you can see again that it's an outline, it is a list. You can see that it begins with an opinion. Okay, so there are 3 benefits for learning online. Okay, we have reason number 1, it's flexible. And then underneath, we have kind of a subtitle, and this is the supporting point or detail. And you can see on your screen anytime and anywhere. Reason number 2, it's enjoyable. And again, under that, we have the support, can watch videos and listen to audio files. Reason 3, can study at your own pace. And again, under that, we have can do online lessons as many times as you want. And as we saw in the animated video, there's a conclusion at the end of the opinion paragraph. And here you can see it says studying online has several benefits. So you can see that we don't write a lot of information here, but it does take time to do this for students. Again, this is usually a brainstorming activity. Now, this could take anywhere from 10 minutes to 20 minutes, I think. It depends on the students. Now, let's take a look at our second common pre-writing activity or brainstorming activity. Here you just write down notes, okay? Anything that comes to your mind, so you don't have to worry about spelling, you don't have to worry about grammar, and you don't have to write in complete sentences here. Now, on your screen, it's written in various ways, sideways, some parts, because students are just kind of writing almost on a piece of scrap paper. Now, hopefully they have notebooks. So you can see online learning in the middle here is the topic. Okay, it's the topic, if you remember from the animated video. And then there's many notes here. Fun, can do it from home, tiring, bad for health. So what you see here are some good points and some bad points, or pros, cons, benefits, okay, drawbacks, okay, and they're kind of mixed. So just any ideas that come into your mind or into the students' minds. So that's our second common pre-writing technique or brainstorming activity. And it does take time to do this. Here is a third common technique. We can call this an idea map or a web. And you can see in the center of our web, we have learning online. Again, that's our topic. Okay, it's not a topic sentence, it's just the topic. And you can see here that there are branches. It's like a tree or a web. And you can see we have some positive points or pros, flexible. And on the other side, we have enjoyable. And then we have also some negative points, okay, some drawbacks or cons. We have tiring and frustrating. Now you can also see that there are smaller branches or more branches connected to our main pros and cons. So you can see flexible on your screen, but then you can see anytime. And then you can see another branch, anywhere, home, coffee shop. So you can try to make it your web, from kind of the center, the main topic into the reasons, and then give a little bit more detail by using those branches or those connections. Again, this is very common and it does take time. So you probably need 15 to 20 minutes to do this, okay? Now, here are some comments about using these three pre-writing techniques that I just showed you. They do help the students, and organization is very important, okay? And they also help to show or to separate the pros and the cons, okay? The good points and the bad points, okay? Benefits, drawbacks. We need these in an opinion paragraph, okay? It's a really good pair work activity or small group work activity. So it gets everybody kind of working together, because sometimes it's difficult to think of ideas depending on the topic. One of the drawbacks, one of the negative points, or the cons of using these three systems, these three pre-writing systems, it can be time consuming. It could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and sometimes it might even be longer, okay? If you have lots of time, no problem. If you don't have so much time in the classroom, or for example, you're writing a test, an entrance test, and you have to write an essay or a paragraph, one paragraph essay, then it could be a problem. Now, another thing about using those three pre-writing brainstorming techniques, you can see here. So the ideas are in a list, or they're at random, right? We just wrote them down, or they're in the idea web, okay? So it's not in paragraph form. So you write your ideas, then you transfer those ideas to paragraph form, or transform would be a better word, to a paragraph. Again, that is a little bit time consuming. And also the last point here, sometimes it's hard or difficult for students to see the whole picture, okay, in paragraph form, because it's not in paragraph form yet, okay? So those are just some of the smaller problems that you might have or students might have using the brainstorming techniques, and then comparing it to paragraph form. So is there another system or method the students can use to help them organize their thoughts and ideas? The answer is yes. The labeling system. So I'm now going to show you, I'm going to teach you how the labeling system actually works step by step. Okay, here we have an opinion paragraph. You can see we have, I'll just highlight this for you. You can see that we have a title, The Benefits of Learning Online. Now, what might seem a little bit strange is you can see these. We have a TS inside two brackets over here, right here. And then we have MS1 inside the opening and closing brackets. And then it's followed by D1, D1A, D2, and now we have MS2, D1, and we have a D2, MS3, D1, D2, D2A. And we have a C inside the brackets, and finally we have FC. So what you see here, and this is very important, there is a label. So we call those letters the TS, the MS1, the D1. We call those labels, and they are inside those brackets. Now, I want to make sure that the students understand here. Let me just get rid of this label for a second here and this little mark here. You notice right here that there's a space. There are 3 lines. It didn't show up. I'll try that again. There we go. Right here, there are the first sentence, the first line is indented. And what that means is that we start the first line. We have 3 spaces here. So you can think of a space as a letter, ABC. So we have 3 spaces. And then we start right there. Okay. So start here. Okay, I'll just write that. And that's very important in English writing. Again, we have rules for English writing. And we start with an indentation. So we ask the students to please indent, please push it over 3 lines. Now, some teachers have 4 or 5 spaces, but 3 is enough. 3 is okay. Now, again, we have, let me grab this. We have a label here. We have a label here and here. So every sentence in this opinion paragraph has a label. And let me put that label back for the TS here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 14 labels here. Now, what are these labels about? Why do we have them? Well, as I mentioned, the labeling system is a method or a system to help you organize your thoughts or ideas. What you're going to learn is this is not a pre-writing activity. So there was no brainstorming in groups or pairs before this activity. Okay, now I'm going to show you exactly how we do this. So let me just go to the next slide. Okay, so what are labels and how do they work? So on your screen, you can see 3 key points about labels. So they're used during the actual writing of the paragraph. So they are not a pre-writing activity. So they're not used for brainstorming. It is an organizational tool. And as I said earlier, organization is the key to writing strong opinion paragraphs. And finally, the labeling system helps the students get a feel for the paragraph. Now, as I said earlier, the cohesive nature of a paragraph is very important. So all the sentences have to work together. Everything is linked back to the topic. And the labeling system does a very good job of this. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, at the top of your screen, you can see our first label. It is TS, and that means topic sentence. And remember, it is inside those brackets. So let's read this together. So in the English opinion paragraph, it is important to organize your writing. An opinion paragraph always has a topic sentence, TS. It is the most important sentence in the paragraph. And there is only one topic sentence, TS, in an opinion paragraph. And the TS is usually at the beginning of the paragraph, not always, but usually. Now, topic sentences, as you can see on the screen, often look like this. Now, in blue, you can see 3 topic sentences. The first one says, TS, there are 3 benefits for having a pet. The second one, there are 3 reasons humans should go to space. And finally, playing video games can be good for children for several reasons. Okay, let's take a look at the 3 topic sentences at the bottom of your page. They are in blue. So the first one you can see says there are 3 benefits for having a pet. So this part, the pet, that is our topic. And this part, there are 3 benefits for having a pet. So there are 3 benefits is my opinion about the topic, pets, okay? So again, this is a complete sentence. It's a topic sentence. There are 3 benefits, okay? Now let's go to our second one. There are 3 reasons humans should go to space. So our topic is space. And here there are 3 reasons humans should go. That is my complete opinion, okay, on the topic of space. And then in the final sentence, topic sentence here, you can see that the topic is actually at the beginning. So you can do it this way also. So playing video games can be good for children for several reasons. So this part is my opinion about the topic, okay? Now I want to point something out here that might not be obvious to some. You notice that it says here 3 benefits in the first topic sentence. And then in the second one, we have 3 reasons. And then the last one, we have several reasons. Now, several means more than 2, okay? So what you notice here is we seem to have 3 main points in our opinion, okay, in our topic sentence for the first 2. And then in the last one, we have several reasons. We don't say 3, but again, several means more than 2. So several could be 3 or 4 or 5. So again, what we notice here is in an opinion paragraph, we usually have 3 main points, okay? 3 main reasons, okay, to support our topic sentence, which again is an opinion, okay? So there are 3 benefits for having a pet. There are 3 reasons humans should go to space. And finally, playing video games can be good for children for several reasons. These topic sentences are very easy to understand. They're very clear, and that's what we want. The reader should understand what this paragraph is about. And we can see here that these are very easy to understand if you're the reader. Okay, let's go to our next slide. Okay, let's try some topic sentences for studying online. That's our topic. So there are 3 benefits for studying online. Studying online has several advantages. Our third one, there are 3 reasons all college classes should be online. And the fourth one is blank. That's for you to add your topic sentence. Okay, at the top of your screen, you can see MS1 in brackets. This is our next label. Now, I'm just going to read what is on the screen, and you can follow along with me if you'd like. So in the English opinion paragraph, you must give reasons for your opinion stated in the TS. If you remember, TS means, that's right, topic sentence. So we're going to call the first reason main support 1, and we will use the label MS1, so main support 1, okay? So this is the first point, the first reason to support our topic sentence. And if you look at the blue writing on the screen, we have a topic sentence. So that was our first step. So we have the bracket TS. Remember, there's a space at the beginning. It's indented, 3 spaces. So there are 3 benefits for learning online. The next part is our MS1 label. And again, it's in brackets. So we do not have to write down notes, jot down ideas. We don't need an idea web. We don't need an outline. We have our TS. Our next sentence is always MS1, our first main point, our first main supporting point or reason. So let's see what we can come up with. Well, here we have a main supporting 1 sentence, so an MS1. First of all, learning online is flexible. So flexible, it's flexible. Well, that is a benefit. That's the first benefit. Okay, so learning online is flexible. Of course, I make a sentence. Okay, you cannot just write flexible. Okay, we are actually writing our paragraph. So this is in paragraph form. It's not a list. Now you noticed I said, first of all, you can just say first if you would like. And these markers are very important for writing because they tell the reader, okay, what is coming, okay? So you would write first, comma, or first of all, comma, learning online is flexible. Okay, we're gonna go to our next label. We now have D1, and it's again in brackets. So in an opinion paragraph, you must give support or details. So the details are often examples or information that make the main supporting point, the MS, stronger. And they kind of answer the question, what do you mean? So the first sentence after MS1 is D1. Again, it's the first detail. And here we have our TS. We already wrote our MS1 with a label, of course. And now we have D1. So there are 3 benefits for learning online. MS1. First of all, learning online is flexible. Well, what do you mean? So you need to talk about it's flexible. What do you mean it's flexible? That's what we do. So we don't need to make a list. We're not making an outline. We are actually just adding to our paragraph. So we're on the 3rd sentence. So let's take a look what we have here. Well, if you study online, you can study anywhere. So you can see that you can study anywhere is connected to flexible. Okay, directly connected. Let's just spend a few minutes on this D1, and I want to show how it is connected again to the sentence before it. So MS1 is learning online is flexible. Okay, that's the key point. That's the main supporting point. Okay, that's our first main supporting point. Now, the D1 answers, what do you mean? So we need an explanation, some information, an example. What do you mean it's flexible? Well, you can study anywhere. Okay, so this can study anywhere is directly connected to flexible. Okay, so D1 always connects back. Okay, D1 connects back to MS1 always. Okay, so let me erase that. That's very important to understand. Okay, we now move on to our next label. On the next screen, we see D1A. So we have a small a after the 1. And again, this label is inside brackets. So in an opinion paragraph, we often try to say more about a detail. So you remember the D1 was our detail, flexible. And a D1A is a detail that is directly connected to the D1. So it's not a new idea. Okay, that's very important to remember. It's not new. It continues describing, or it continues talking about the D1. And it's often an example for the D1. So far, in our paragraph, we have TS, topic sentence. There are 3 benefits for learning online. MS1, our first main support, okay? Our first main supporting point, so main support 1. First of all, online learning online is flexible. And then we had our first detail, which is connected directly to flexible. So D1, if you study online, you can study anywhere. Well, what do you mean? Can you give me some example? That's what D1A is doing, or should do. And here we have an example. And you can use this expression, okay, the vocabulary. For example, comma, you can study from your home or even at a coffee shop. So if you look at D1, you can study anywhere. You can study from your home or even at a coffee shop. This is directly connected to the D1. And so far, everything is connected because D1, you can study anywhere, is directly connected to flexible. Flexible, MS1, is directly connected to benefits for online learning. So everything is connected so far, and that's what we want. Okay, we're moving along with our paragraph. We are now at the D2 label, and let me just read what it says on the screen. So sometimes in our opinion paragraph, we have a second example for our MS1. This second example has a D2 label, and the D2 is different from the D1, but it is directly connected to the MS sentence. So in our case so far, we have MS1. So let me show you what that actually means. So here we have our TS. This is our paragraph that we're writing. So there are 3 benefits for learning online. Main support 1, MS1. First of all, learning online is flexible. What do you mean? D1, detail 1. If you study online, you can study anywhere. That's the key point, anywhere. So we have some example here. So it's D1A, which is connected directly to D1. For example, you can study from your home or even at a coffee shop. Now, if it says D2, and it does, that means that this detail, the second detail, is different from the first detail. So detail 1 is study anywhere. So D2 is not study anywhere, can't be, okay? But it's connected to the MS, in this case, MS1, online, learning online is flexible. So here's what we could write. So you see the word furthermore. So this is another good marker, you could call it, vocabulary that helps the reader to understand that we're moving or we're changing, but it is still connected, okay? So this sentence is still connected to our MS. So we have furthermore, it is flexible because you can do it anytime, such as late at night or in the early morning. So D1 is study anywhere, and D2 is do it anytime. So anywhere and time. So those are different, but they are both connected to the MS1. Learning online is flexible. Okay, so that's what's happening so far. Okay, so I'd like to just go slowly here and just mention this again one more time. So the D1 is study anywhere, and that is connected to the MS1, flexible. But D2 is a second detail that is different from study anywhere. This one is do it anytime, but it is also connected to flexible here, okay? That's why we call it D2. So this really helps you to organize in your mind. We're still talking about online learning being flexible, but we're giving a different example. And this expression, this word here, furthermore, is very useful to use for a D2 sentence. Okay, due to our time constraints with our video, we're going to jump ahead, but don't panic. Our MS2 in details and our MS3 in details follow the same pattern as our MS1 in details. Now on your screen, you can see the complete paragraph, the opinion paragraph here. And of course, I have indented 3 spaces here, if you remember. It's not very neat. Our TS is here. There are 3 benefits of learning online. Now, we already did this part here. And you can see the blue part now is our MS2. And we use the signal word second, which makes it easy for the reader to follow. So we have second here. So learning online can be enjoyable. So if you remember in MS1, the key word was flexible. And then the details were about study anywhere and anytime. But now we are talking about enjoyable. That is the key point here. That is our MS2. That means our details must be about enjoyable and only enjoyable, okay? So if you look at the D1 here, it says many online programs include interesting videos, which make the lessons fun. So the key words here or word, interesting videos, that's enjoyable. So you can see there's a connection right here, okay? And then if you look at D2, in addition is similar to furthermore. If you remember that word right here in our first MS1 paragraph, or our first MS1 part, I should say. And it's a good signal word, again, to show that something new is coming. So in addition, comma, there are also many fun learning apps the students can use online. So the key point here is fun learning apps. And that is connected to enjoyable. But remember, it's different. It's different from this. Interesting videos, D1, detail 1. And then fun learning apps, that's detail 2. Now let me clear all this because it looks a little bit messy. So if we read MS2, second, learning online can be enjoyable. D1, first detail. Many online study programs include interesting videos, which make the lessons fun. Second detail, D2, in addition, comma, there are also many fun learning apps the students can use online. Very clear for the reader. Everything is connected. D1 is connected to MS2. D2 is connected to MS2. Now, this is very important, and I want you to be aware that after the MS sentences, you got MS1, you always have D1. After MS2, you have D1 because it's the first detail for MS2. After MS3, right here, you have D1. It's the first detail for MS3, okay? So you always have the D1 coming after. Let me put it up here maybe. So you have MS1, and the next sentence is always D1. And then if you have MS2, you always have D1 to follow. And the same with MS3, close the bracket. You always have D1. Remember, it's the first, let me get rid of that. It's the first detail for the MS, okay? So always follow your MS sentences with a D1, okay? Okay, so we're looking at the details because this is an MS3. And the key point here is that you can study at your own pace. So that's the third main supporting point or reason. Remember, everything connects to the topic sentence, 3 benefits for learning online. Now we have to try to put a label in here. That one's probably easy. I don't know if you can remember this. I think you can. And then we have this. So we need 3 labels here for this MS3. Remember, MS3, MS2, the details, we are following the same system as we just learned for MS1. But remember, the details, they can be a little bit different. So I'll give you a second. So one more time, MS3, finally, learning online is beneficial for students who like to study at their own pace. This label, when you study online, you can do the lessons as many times as you would like. That's what it says there. So let me shift that a bit over so you can see that. Okay. So you can do the lesson as many times as you would like. Can do, I'm going to underline that. So that is a detail, I guess. And then we have this marker. Furthermore, you do not have to follow along with the teacher. And then we have another bracket, which means one more label. This is useful for students who need more time. Okay, so let me give you a few seconds here. What do you think those labels are going to be? I think you probably know. All right. Well, maybe I can use this. It might be a little bit neater. So when you study, so remember what I said earlier, after an MS, so MS1 or MS21, you always have D1. Now, I guess I can use green. Why not? That's a nice color. Might be a little bit too big. So I'll use 24. So this is D1 right there. That's a D1. It's a little bit smaller, so it fits in the brackets. So when you study online, you can do the lessons as many times as you would like. Furthermore, you do not have to follow along with the teacher. So this is connected to study at your own pace. I can see this is connected. Okay, this one is connected, but it's different from this one here, can do as many times. So this one says you do not have to follow along with the teacher. So this one is D2. Now there's already brackets there, so I'm just going to put that. This is a D2 label, D2 sentence. It's a detail that's connected to MS3, study at your own pace, but it's different from D1. So remember, D1, study as many times as you would like. You can do it again and again. But D2, furthermore, that's the secret. There's that marker. It's a new idea. You do not have to follow along with the teacher. So that's connected again, study at your own pace, but it's a different detail. The last one, this is useful. Well, this is useful. What is useful? So this is useful. Well, you do not have to follow along. That's what, you don't have to follow. So, dakara, if I want to use some Japanese, this is useful. So this means you do not have to follow along with the teacher. So that means if I'm writing this label, This would be D2A. Remember, we used the small letters when we want to continue. I think that'll fit in there. Yeah, just. Okay. So if you look back at our MS1, we had the D1. You can study anywhere. Tatoiba, that was a D1A, remember? For example, you can study. So if you continue the same idea, you use A, B, C, D, okay? If it's a new idea, it's D2, maybe D3 or D4. So this is D2A because it is, I'm going to erase. Well, can I erase? Sure, I can erase. So I'm going to get rid of that so you can see it a little bit better here. Okay, I'm going to do that. And get rid of that. So this D2A is connected directly to D2. It's just continuing the idea, so it becomes D2A. So those are the labels that you need, okay, for MS3. Okay, so let me just erase these so it's not so messy. Maybe you can see that better. Okay, let me get rid of that and that. And that. Okay, so there you have MS3. Again, MS1, D1 in more details. MS2, D1 details. MS3, D1 details. Okay, and that is what you do for the MS sentences. We're going to just quickly move on to the conclusion, okay? But I'm going to stop it here. Okay, we're now on the last part of our opinion paragraph. It is the conclusion. And you can see on the screen here that there's an arrow connecting the TS, the topic sentence, to the conclusion. So let me just read that conclusion, and you can see there's a bracket with the label C for conclusion. So in conclusion, comma, learning online has several benefits, colon, those two dots. It is flexible, enjoyable, and you can study at your own pace. All right, so in the topic sentence, it says there are 3 benefits for online learning. So I'm repeating basically the same idea or similar idea in the conclusion. So learning online has several benefits. The blue part, I'm just repeating the MS1, the MS2, and the MS3. So it's really quite easy. You don't really have to create anything new. There are no new ideas in the conclusion. Now the FC, that's just an option. Some students, some writers like to do it. It's just a final comment that you want to make about the topic. So here it says, perhaps it could be beneficial for you. Beneficial means good. So again, this is just something you could do. It's an option, you don't have to. But if you want a nice, strong conclusion, repeat the TS and MS1, MS2, MS3, if you have 3 MS. And that's it. That is what an opinion paragraph looks like with all the labels. Okay, so to sum up, why use labels? Well, it takes less time compared to many pre-writing techniques. You don't need an outline. You don't need an idea map, okay, or a web. You don't need to really jot down ideas, okay? So it saves students a lot of time. there is no transfer of information because the students are writing the paragraph as they go along. It's easier to see how the sentences and the ideas go together, how they are linked, which is very important in opinion writing. So there's a better flow of the writing process. Okay, it's not a list, it's not a web, it's actually a paragraph. It's very easy to correct if you're a teacher. And the last point, students can understand feedback. So you can, as a teacher, you can just say, you know, D2A does not connect to D2, or MS2 is not a main supporting sentence. So it's much, much easier for the students to understand any comments about the structure and the organization, which is very, very important. So it was a little bit fast, I know. If you would like more information about the labeling system and how it works with opinion writing, please feel free to contact me at bozer@sapporo-u.ac.jp. I would be more than happy to help you with using the labeling system in your classes. So thank you very much.